Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Path of Exile. Today, before anything else, we're going to be doing a little bit of crafting. There's a crafting recipe whereby putting 3 flasks of the same type into a vendor, you can craft a flask of the next higher type. As it will turn out, you can drag a flask from your flask bar to your inventory. However, control-clicking it will move it into the window. The problem is, it apparently is a level 14 flask. Since I'm not level 14, it raises a few issues of where I can't even use it. So, for the time being at least, I'm better off with what I was already using. Anyway, let's get back out into the raid class, keep pushing forward, killing stuff. We got this huge pack of these sand crab things and firewolves. There's a chromatic orb dropping on the floor. Currency items, always good and exciting to find in new leagues. Chromatic orbs are kinda... They're not one of the more desirable currency items to get. Yeah, they let you re-roll the slot colors on pieces of equipment, but they are not really extremely useful until much later on when you're trying to get the perfect color slot layouts for a final item almost. Right now, it'll be pretty much useless unless I'm just getting horrible luck and it's oh, I can't find, 2 red slots next to each other on a strength item because the game decided it's going to give me the more rare red-green slot combination non-stop. So the option's there with it. Right there, yeah, mallet. In theory, it could be better than what I'm using, but it's a level 12 weapon, which I can't use. Wolves all gathered up on the other side of this rock. I want to sneak around and go kill them, but unfortunately, they don't cooperate. They surround me behind it, and I'm forced to kill just the 2 of them at a time. What else is new? Now we have flying goat men all over the place. They're just leap slamming all over the place. They get some casters, and they're just trying to spark us to death. It's raid class. This place is just deadly as all hell. And our first legitimately tough, unique mob. Brutus can be tough. I don't know if they removed his smash ability or if I just got really lucky and just never used it in the last episode, but Brutus in the past had been much more difficult. But Burning Menace will ignite you, or inflict burning, or I forget what the exact name of the status effect is called. It stops your health from regenerating, which is bad. That basically cancels out your healing flask, so when you're standing next to things and getting damaged by other stuff, you end up dying horribly. If it's not apparent yet, I am doing post-commentary for this episode. The power had gone out briefly, and apparently my microphone did not reactivate itself, so I had to just enable it real quick, with no huge deal. Except for the fact that Audacity then decided that I was going to record with my headset microphone, which again, not a huge deal.
How you going?
Except for the fact that the headset microphone was up on top of my head the entire time. So I sounded really far away, kind of almost like this or something. I don't know exactly how it would sound. Anyway, for killing Brutus, we unlocked the rewards from Tarkleigh. I would have read through all these in the actual normal commentary, except I can't see them at the moment. There's a bunch of stuff here. The anger aura was tempting. The extra, 5, 6, whatever points of damage it was, not great. Leap Slam, though, is just an awesome ability to have at early levels if you can get your hands on it. It's basically just better than Ground Slam. And Sweep. Or I think I compared it to Sweep in the video, very briefly there. It's less of a chance of knocking back opponents, however, you can leap over things, like that cliff. You can leap over enemies, you can leap onto enemies and damage them. It's very, very useful, as the Burning Menace desinks and jumps a few feet away. Now, here you can see the effect of the burning. I just used a flask, and my health just isn't moving. I wait for it to wear off, and Burning Menace apparently explodes into a pit of fiery, not a pit, but an area of fiery fire. Very good descriptive adjectives today. Who doesn't love adjectives? Yeah, or adjectives, not adverbs. Sometimes overthinking things. The old vest we found could be pretty decent. It's got life, mana, some resistances on it, but its dexterity and intelligence requirements are too high for me at the moment. So I'm stuck with the current no armor I'm using. Now this here is going to be a little bit interesting. I was talking a little bit about the skill tree. I'm going to be pointing at things that are going to make no sense whatsoever. So once I kill this sand crab gravel eater guy, ignore the mouse, or follow the mouse. But basically I'm going back and forth debating, do I want to go a little more for the defensive stuff on the top branch of the tree? I can get some enemy crit chance reduction, some strength, life nodes, some elemental resist nodes. There's also some melee damage and attack speed nodes further down on that little bottom branch of the Marauder tree. It's like, yeah, some melee damage would be good. Some more melee damage on the next node would also be good. Some attack speed would also be okay. 4% is not an extremely great amount. If I went down that way, there's some life nodes, some life armor nodes, somewhere I'm pointing at random things that my current train of thought are not following. There's those armor life nodes and armor nodes. Mace damage, if you're planning on using maces, are actually kind of nice to pick up, but obviously not very much good if you're using axes or swords. Lava Lash, 30% damage with fire, is very useful for Infernal Blow, actually, because 50% of the physical damage is converted to fire damage by Infernal Blow. Blood Drinker, 2% of physical attack, regained is Life Leech, also pretty useful, heals you up. Maximum Endurance Charge is helpful for Enduring Cry. It makes you a lot more tankier per Endurance Charge. Up there, we have that enemy crit damage multiplier reduction thing. 15% reduced extra damage from critical strikes inflicted upon you by enemies, so it's pretty nice, makes you a little bit beefier. Strength health node, a strength node, diamond skin plus 12% to all resistances, 2 15% fire resist nodes, and we can cut down somewhere else. I'm kind of debating, what happens if we go up this way, some more strength nodes, we can loop around to what turns out to be Resolute Strike any second now, or Resolute Technique. Enemies can't evade your attacks, but cannot be stunned. Your hits cannot be, I don't know. There's some totem stuff over there. Blood Magic is down there at the bottom left of the screen right now. In the end, I decided to go for a little bit more defensive stuff. A little bit extra cold resist doesn't hurt. Some extra health doesn't hurt either. It's not a hardcore league, so realistically, I could just go for damage stuff right now. I just kind of don't want to be dying constantly, having to rerun through empty areas. So, because, they're having to remember and go in and the post, afterwards and edit out the stuff. It takes like 30 seconds or so. It's actually not terribly difficult, but it's just a pain in the ass to have to go and do it. So, it is, I'd rather not have to. Also, dying constantly just ends up being bad. I mean, there's games where it works out a little more. This style of game, dying in the course of the video is not as great. A super difficult boss where you're struggling to beat it and getting a little closer each time. It's a little bit better for leaving in a lot of deaths. Dying to a pack of random mobs because you do something stupid out of the blue and then having to run through 3/4 of an empty zone, not too great. There, I have no idea why I was mousing over this stuff. I'm sure there was a good reason, but I really don't know. Anyway, lots of sand crabs, some orbs of transmutation. I think right about here, I use that orb on the mallet I found earlier. I was hoping for a decent roll. Anything good, upgraded weapon would be nice. But I get global crit chance multiplier. If I ever use it. There it is. 13% increased global crit chance. That's pretty much useless for me. Oh well, it is what it is. So, we're gonna not be using that, and we'll be moving forward, killing some more stuff. Leap Slam is just really nice to have. Leaping over those ledges is nice. There's going to be spots in the next episode where I really put it to good use in the Caverns of Wrath and Cavern of Anger. Or Cavern of Wrath and Cavern of Anger. Or Caverns, whatever. Anyway, we're moving on to the ship graveyard. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or if they adjusted the waypoint location, but I actually managed to find the waypoint really quickly. It's just right inside the area. Usually I end up running all over the damn place, just to realize I was so close to it, but just missed it popping up on the mini-map, which is annoying. Ah, yes. This was the point of the video where I could not for the life of me remember what the heck an orb of augmentation was, or an orb of alteration was. I was hoping, if I could find one of them, I could, possibly make that mallet usable and better. An orb of augmentation will add a second modifier to the weapon. I believe it currently has a suffix. I could add a prefix effect to it. Magic equipment can have 2 effects on it. The Orb of Alteration will re-roll the item altogether. So it essentially remove the global crit chance effect and randomly add 1 or 2 new effects to the item. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those, so no chance of that happening. And I thought for a second I died right here, but I didn't, fortunately. I do pick up these Superior Steel Greaves for the second red skill gem slot. One thing you want to keep in mind is any gems you plan on using, you want to keep slotted as much as possible. You want them to be caught up on levels. Real early on, it's not terrible if a level or 2 goes by when the gem isn't getting experience, because it's not really a huge amount. I'm going to mouse over the XP bar shortly. I'm at like 141 or 147,000 experience or something. So realistically, Infernal Blow maybe missed 75 to 100,000 experience. So it's not a huge amount. If I sat on Infernal Blow for another 10 levels, 20 levels, until I finally decided to use it, it would be a bad item. It would just be, or the skill would just be bad, because the levels aren't equal with the content. So, Infernal Blow would be doing like 30 to 40 damage, whatever the numbers are. When all my other abilities, Leech Slam, Sweep, or whatever that I had slotted out, it's like, oh, why would I want to use that 30 to 40 DPS Infernal Blow when I could use this 100 DPS Leap Slam? Just by having it slotted in an item somewhere, it keeps earning experience, and when I'm finally ready to swap over and start using it, it will be caught up and all ready to go. I was talking about earlier my plans, go and kill Merveil today. I get distracted by the ship graveyard cave. So we're gonna go get the Allflame for Fairgraves, because he asked for it. He's a good old guy. He was the captain of the ship that brought us here, I believe. Unfortunately, his crew died in the shipwreck, only him alive. Poor guys. But you know what? No, actually, I don't know what. Let's say, yeah, no, I'll go there. I'd imagine if you're getting exiled in like the time period of the game kind of takes place in, you wouldn't be too concerned about the guys who are coming across. Now, this area, the guys in here are really tough. I mean, they teleport, they damage you when they teleport, and there can be a lot of them. You try to run away, they just teleport right back on top of you and do a whole bunch more damage. So you really gotta be careful here, even on normal difficulty if you don't want to die. On Cruel and Merciless, if you're not ready for this place, turning that first corner into the first group of enemies is just gonna get you killed. It really is a tough area. Oh yeah, I remember why I had the challenge window open. I was wondering if there were any full clear challenges or tasks or whatever in this season. I don't believe there are. Last season, there were challenges to where you had to kill every single enemy in every single zone of the game at least once. Kind of checking out if there was. This time, we just gotta kill all the uniques. That's the challenge this time around. So, we're gonna do exactly that. In this case, we're gonna be killing Strangle Charm. Something about skills. Again, I don't know. We're doing stuff. Ah, I know. Haha. I was making sure that the abilities I was mainly using, Leap, Slam, and Heavy Strike, could be used with an axe. Of course, as it would turn out, I don't have the stats required to use the axe. I don't have the stats required to use the sword I found either. This is going to be a running theme going forward for quite a while. Eventually, in theory, I will find a dexterity node somewhere that I can grab. I think I'm actually looking at them right now, comparing a couple spots as far as where the nearest intelligence and dexterity nodes are on the tree. I know I do it at some point in this episode. But, yeah, there's a rare mob over here, so we're gonna murder it real quick. Poor guy doesn't stand a chance. That was, what, 5 hits with Heavy Strike? I think Heavy Strike or Glacial Hammer, real nice to have just for single target stuff. Area of Effect abilities, not worth using against single enemies. A little bit of inventory management to find a better, or a 3-slot pair of gloves, so some extra gem slots to manage. I believe at this point I have all the skill gems I have and plan to use at any point in time, all slotted up, all earning experience, except for Fire Trap, which is maxed out and can't level up because I lack the dexterity. Seeing why I can't level up, see if it says it directly in there. You know, is it just I'm not high enough level yet, or no, it's I don't have dexterity. Anyway, here I just spent a skill point. Where am I putting a skill point? Apparently I'm still debating about where to put stuff. Right, there we go.
Frankly, I stuck.
Alright. So far I've been skipping the conversations. They get to be kind of long. Story-wise, some of the stuff isn't, I don't know, story-wise. Story-wise, the stuff is actually kind of interesting.
Your death will be greatly celebrated.
As my friend character starts talking over me yet again. I did all the voiceover stuff, or the text and story and whatever, in the first playthrough, going back, is it about a year? I guess it is about a year now, actually. Go figure. So, yeah, maybe not the greatest thing. It's not a cutscene thing, it's mostly just red text. I believe at this point they all have voiceover, so it's not just pure text. Ideally, it would queue up and keep going as I was going through, so I could like keep playing the game while it was being read. But, yeah. So, I'm gonna go with, if you want to see the text and the lore and stuff, play the game. Try the game yourself. The game is worth playing. If nothing else, you will kill a few hours playing the game. Story-wise, I honestly don't remember what the deal with Fairgraves was. I think I might have touched on it to where he was the captain of the ship that brought us to Rayclast. We are exiled from the mainland. And
calm is gone.
I thought this was part of the achievement thing. It turns out it's not, or I clicked one. Fairgraves was the captain of the ship that brought us to Rayclast. Rayclast. Might be Rayclast. I'm pretty sure it's Rayclast. I'm sticking with Rayclast. Fairgraves was shipwrecked. His crew killed in the process. There's a myth of a siren who found the necklace known as the Allflame. And, you know, in the process of holding on to it, basically became obsessed over, possessed by it, and turned into that siren that we killed down in the ship graveyard cave. The necklace still on her corpse. We recovered it, brought it to Fairgraves, who used the power of the Allflame to resurrect his entire crew at the same time in an attempt to kill us. I'm not sure why he attempted to kill us in the process. I just don't remember. I don't know if it's explained or if he's just an asshole or whatever, but there you go. That's the basic thing of what happened. And here right, is where I am looking for the nearest dex and intelligence nodes for various characters, dex and strength, depending on where it is. Turns out all characters actually have all 3 nodes fairly close to where they are. Most are within a couple skill points of the initial starting thing with the face. I don't know what the hell you call them. The class gem? I don't know. Anyway, the coves. What the hell zone is this? I don't know what zone we're in. Going with the coves. It's not a cave, so it's not the caves. Going with the cove. Anyway, look at the vulnerability curse. You take more physical damage, degen effects on you are enhanced, your regeneration of your magic shield is delayed, or something to that effect. Vulnerability is annoying. Right now, it's actually kind of bearable, but later on, it's bad to be cursed. By any curse, but specifically vulnerability when you're standing next to mobs and trying to murder the crap out of them. And we have giant, monstrous seagulls. They're new. I've actually never seen them before. Or if I did and I had previously commented on them, I forgot that they existed. Oh well. It is what it is. Deal with it. They got feathers. They got, like, beakish looking things. I don't know. I guess they're monstrous seagulls. That's what I'm running with here. They might not be. I think their name is actually Monstrous Gull, if I'm ever going to mouse over one here. Gluttonous Gull. Okay, close enough. Giant evil seagulls. That's what's important. So we're going to murder them. No one likes giant, monstrous, gluttonous seagulls. And story of my life, I'm out of mana, and I am dying. My health is getting dangerously low. That vulnerability curse really hurts when you have a bunch of stuff slamming away at you. Or on you, whatever. Anyway, one of the things that's like I kind of just realized at this point is
carry this.
I kept talking about how I'm going to kind of do this at a race pace. And I'm going to keep going through areas relatively quickly, trying to keep things moving along nicely. And I've like stopped and killed, like, oh, want a guy here? Yeah, why not? I'll kill him. Sure. And, you know, I really haven't been keeping up at a good pace. Race-wise, the race would be over already. Anyway, I found my first Chaos Orb. Chaos Orbs are pretty nice as far as starting this whole thing over. Chaos Orbs are pretty nice as far as currency items go. They are, you know, type in the ladder here. I want to see how high level people are. People are like level 70. Well, people are like 73. There's a couple level 73s, a couple 72s, 71s, 70s. So people are already getting fairly high leveled. So Chaos Orbs are a currency item you really don't want to be using early on. They're fairly uncommon. The effect is pretty powerful. I believe it reforges the magical properties on an item, I believe. Taking a stab in the dark there, it might not. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, it's an interesting thing about these new leagues. Chaos Orbs in Default or Hardcore, 1 or 2 Chaos Orbs can get you pretty much the majority of the items in the game. You can probably, I'd say probably 99% of the items in the game you can buy with 1 or 2 Chaos Orbs. The remaining 1% are just like the ideal, perfect combination items, you know. You find a normal white item that has the perfect, you know, attack damage rolls, the perfect slot layouts, the perfect color layouts and stuff. You'll want to throw some Exalteds and Blesseds and whatever the appropriate orbs are at it to make it really nice of a weapon. The problem is right now, no one has all this stuff. It's a brand new league. It's like 3 days old at this point. So people just don't have the stuff to spend. People don't have the items. That Chaos Orb is actually worth a lot more right now. But, you know, just a random mediocre item at this point is worth a lot more. You know, it's a 5 or 6 link item. Not a huge deal as far as value in default. Now, 5 link in default or hardcore league is actually
Fairgraves was a
not
good man.
terribly expensive. 6 links are a little bit more expensive.
Merveil.
Here,
You
a
must
5
take
or
your
6
task.
link is worth quite a bit. Anyway, for doing something, I honestly don't know which quest reward this was. We get a life hit, or life gain on hit gem. This is a beautiful, awesome, powerful piece of equipment, yeah. The skill gem.
Still composing.
Every
that
enemy we
poem
hit with a
about
linked
you,
ability.
Exile.
Yeah, Bestel, keep working on that poem. That we will actually listen to at some point because it's about us, and we're awesome. So right now, Leap Slam basically uses 14 mana per cast and does whatever it does. You know, it does some damage, does that little leap effect. By putting life gain on hit into it, the mana cost will go up to by 150%, or go up to 150%. So it'll be 21 mana instead of 14, but for every enemy Leap Slam hits, I will regain 6 hit points, or 6 health, or life. What does that mean? Well, if I hit 5 enemies, I've just regained 30 health, which is like 10% of my mana bar, or health bar, for the love of God. If I hit 10 things by some, stroke of luck, well, that's 60 health worth of healing, which is 20% of my health, give or take. So that becomes really useful. I can just jump around and stuff, and yeah, I can jump into a pack of enemies, I'm doing damage, I'm killing them, but at the same time, I'm gaining health back. So it is really awesome. Life Leech is another one, works in a similar fashion. The mechanics of Life Leech are a little more complicated, but basically you regain life that you do as, like, added regen. I also touched on in the original recording, briefly, the cove where we were. The mobs, or the zombies, have tar effects when they die. When you're in them, it slows down your movement. You can use Leap Slam to jump out of it, which is great, and I don't think I did that at all. Here I was going to quickly demonstrate how the life gain on hit gem ends up working. I'm trying to take damage, gather up some enemies. Holy crap, an Exile just Leap Slammed to us. So there go the plans of taking a little bit of damage and then Leap Slamming into the pack of enemies. But my health is still full. That could be mistaken for regen, throw some fire traps, get some burning damage going out, kill that rare mob, kill his little friends, and start working on Tura Algoso, or however you say it, I have no idea. And right now, I bring up how you can use Shift to hold yourself in place. It's a pretty common thing for these style action RPG games. Hold Shift, hold an attack, you stand still, you'll hit whatever enemies are in range, but you won't move. Unfortunately, I am, like, perpetually out of mana. It's like the story of my life. And I'm playing with, do I have to actually be targeting the enemy? I don't know, I'm like targeting behind it. It turns out, yes, you can hit the enemy without targeting it directly. It's a little finicky when you're using a single target attack. When you're using a AoE effect, it's a lot easier. You just stand in place. As long as they're in the area of effect, they'll take damage. But we kill the Exile. We get a bunch of loot off of him. Single-handed, or one-handed cleaver, which we're not going to use. A mallet, which turns out to be garbage. Go figure. Some lightning resist rings. A dexterity amulet, which I may put to use at some point. I don't know. And other than that, just some basic, simple, straightforward inventory management. And we found a magical chest piece, or chest plate. Obviously, that's going to be better. And I think that's it. Is that it? I think that is. Except for that boulder. We opened the boulder for whatever reason. Time to identify stuff, or kill that squid. Now it's time to identify stuff. Come on, good rolls, and it's not terrible, but it's going to do quite a bit less damage per second than the weapon we're currently using because of the lower base damage, or lower minimum damage on it. The one we're using is like 26 minimum, the other one's 16, 17. I am not currently looking at the screen because I am rubbing my eye. Now I'm looking at the screen, but I don't have the tooltips up. Or do I? Whatever. Whatever. Works out better with the one we were using. So we're going to use the one we were using. Yay. As I rub Something in my eye. Damn it. Anyway, that's pretty much going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Path of Exile. Next time, we're going to be heading back into the Cavern of Wrath, heading down to the Cavern of Anger, down to Merveil's lair, where we're going to kill her and move on to Act 2. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, rate, and/or subscribe, and have a great day.